Hi, welcome to Pup and Running. Today I am going to take you through how to make a scrunchie. I have tried to film this video 3 times now, but my video editing software keeps losing it and being like, I can't find content, even though I can scroll through and still find the content. So instead of trying to edit it and make work what I already had, we're starting over. We're starting fresh. And starting fresh means starting with new fabric. And we're going Christmassy. So let's get started and make some scrunchies. Come on. Okay, so I have here some Grinch fabric, which I am not selling. This will not be available. I'm just getting out my rotary cutter. Yeah, this is not for sale. I'm going to do a little Grinchy giveaway with it, but I want to make scrunchies for the giveaway. So, it was the perfect opportunity to redo this video. All I'm going to do is fold it in half. So it's already, like, folded in half. I am just going to fold it in half this way, so that I can get more scrunchies out of it. Oh my gosh, I'm making a mess of it. Line this up nicely. There we go. So the way that I like to do scrunchies, like so that I find they've got a nice bit of material there, it is not too much, not too little. Line it up with this one. So that is 18, and then we'll do it to 28. Which is 4 inches. So get out my handy dandy ruler. So we will unfold this. Now I like to cut this into 3. Firstly, actually, I'm going to cut this off. The reason I cut the selvage off is because I don't use it. I don't like it. It just gets in the way. I'll cut it off on both ends. I don't know if you can see the other end. This end matches the fabric, but it's like ever so slightly a different color. But it just... Could I just like sew a larger edge? Sure, but it just annoys me, especially with scrunchies. Like if you have a lot of fold over fabric in there, it can be a bit annoying and it's just unnecessary. So personally, oh my gosh, I'm an always cut the selvage off girly. So this is the width of the fabric, and if you prefer, like this is the width of the fabric. If you prefer scrunchies with a lot of fabric, you can just totally cut it in half. Most people do that. We're going to cut this into 3, so I will measure it properly. We go 50. You know what? Let's whip the calculator out. Okay, so as per my measurements, it's about 36 centimeters. So line this up nice and straight. Now it said 36.6. It does not have to be perfect. Amazing. So we have our bits of fabric that will become scrunchies. So let's head over to the sewing machine. Okay, so first things first, I'm actually going to add some to the light. There we go. We've got our Grinchy fabric. More light. I need to pick a matching thread. This is really important with scrunchies, and that's a bit bright. It's not too bright for this face. because when you sew them closed, you will end up with a little stitching line. See, you can barely even see it on the video. Yeah, you can't see it because I matched the thread color. So this is really important, to match the thread color. Oh, that's the one. Okay, so we're going to thread the machine. All we're going to do is, I've got my fabrics. Go back. I'm just going to fold the two edges together like that and stitch them together. And I'm going to do this for all of the pieces that we have separately. I'm going to sew each one of them together, but not like stitch them together. Just watch. It'll make sense in a minute. So now, because I stitched them all together, we're just going to cut them up. So we're going to fold this together here. Okay, so fold, fold, and then fold it in half like a burrito. Hold that bit in the middle and sew. So when I'm doing this method, I always sew with my needle down. And then when I get to here, we just lift it up. Grab that fabric, hold back here because it makes it easier to pull it through. And then just pull. And pull through as much as you can. And then that's it. Put it back down. And sew. You do want to keep checking to make sure that this bit is well in there because you don't want to get it stuck in your stitches. This is a really nice part to get to. You can make sure the seams are lined up and so that you know what you're sewing is nice and straight and not on the wall. So we're near the end again, so I just push that through there. So there's my stitching line, so I just push that in there so it's nice and tight and easy to sew. And then I sew until there's about that gap. 5 centimeters, 6. I don't know, 2 inches if you do inches. And then snippety snip. And that's it. So I am going to sew the rest of these. Oh gosh, am I? Yes. Yes, I am. And then I'll check back in with you when we are ready for the next. Let's go. So now I have 6 inside out tubes. How do we get them into scrunchies? So we are, that little gap that we left, we're going to open that up that little gap that we didn't sew close, open that up, pull the fabric out, and then just keep pulling. So hold it here and pull. Voila. Okay, so we'll do it slowly again one more time. Oh, I didn't cut the threads off of this one. Go. So find that gap that I didn't sew shut, and then there's like a tube of fabric in the middle there. Grab it, pull it. So you need to hold the inside out bit so you can pull the right side out bit through. But first I push through the top bit, and then I'll hold down here and pull through the rest of it. Sometimes the seam here, you can't even see it, that bit, it can be a bit more difficult to pull through. So if that is, you're just going to pull. It's caught now because I untucked it. And then we're just going to push this bit in. So we're going to fold it in like that. And then pull. And then as we're pulling, we're going to move these fingers down, so we can pull more and more through. Down here, pull. Down here, pull. And then when you've got that much, voila! So everyone uses different elastic for different scrunchies. Personally, I like ribbed elastic. If you know, you know. When I said ribbed then, I just really like it because it helps the material stay in place, and it helps your hair stay in place as well. And I use a 1.2 centimeter. Some people like a really thin elastic. I just find this more effective and less damaging on your hair. You know, you tie your hair up a lot, sometimes your hair breaks. I find the thicker elastic helps. This is called a bodkin, and it just helps thread your elastic through. There are older types of bodkins. This is one that I used to use, so you just put it on there like that. Squeeze that down, and now it's stuck in there. You can also just use a safety pin. It's up to you depending on what you have. I really like this one in particular because it is nice and long, and it's just easy. I just like it. So we just put our elastic in there, fold that down, grab a scrunchie. Once again, we're going to find that hole, that little gap that we left, pop the bodkin in there, and then just thread it through. Now, if you've made really long scrunchies, you want to be quite careful. Like if you've used more fabric than the 36 centimeters, if you halved it, this is going to disappear into your scrunchie really fast because you don't want to lose the end. So what we're going to do is, I don't usually pin it, I just hold it. But for the sake of showing you how to make scrunchies, we're going to pin it today. And then I'm just making sure there is no twists in it, and there is not. Just keep threading that bodkin through. There we go, out the other end. Once it is out, unclip it, and then hold that end. And then we're just going to pull it like that. So nice and scrunched up, because next up we are going to stitch these together. So we can't have those on the sewing machine or else we're stitching up the Velcro. If you have like a see-through fabric that has some whites in it, you might want to change your thread to a white if you didn't already have a white in there. Like if you had a pink gingham and you were using a pink thread before, you might just want to change it to a white if you think you might see the pink through the white part of the gingham. But we need to change the settings of our sewing machine, so we need to change to a zigzag. So we just go up to 10. We're ready to go. Alrighty, so I'll put you in nice and close. We are just going to overlap the fabric a bit like that. And then hold onto it tight so it doesn't come apart. And chuck our foot down. This takes like quite a bit of multitasking because you want to use this hand to hold that out of the way. You want to make sure the elastic's not stretched. You want to hold this down. You need to hold the thread down for your first stitch. But then we just go. So I'm zigzagging to the end here. Personally, I do this 4 times because scrunchies get a lot of pulling happening on them in your hair when you tie them up. So I'm just going to cut that and then cut it off. And then you can either do this now or later. Just boom. That's it. Now your elastic is inside. We still obviously need to close it up. But that's it. Okay, so now they are all got elastic in them, we are going to stitch the whole stuff. So this is the part you ultimately really want that matching thread for. So the hole is there, the elastic is there. All we're going to do is put tight, nice and tight. You can pin it here if you want, if you feel like you need to, because we are going to stitch as close to this edge as possible. I'm actually going to change my foot. This is a Temu foot and I drew the center line on it. And the reason I have a Temu foot is because this is my actual stitching foot and I took a chunk out of it. But at least the line is proper centered. Oh, I need to change my sewing machine back off of zigzag. Just go back to 0. There we go. Okay, so now that my foot is sorted, my stitch is sorted, here's my pin. Alrighty. So we're going to start, I like to, going back to the settings, I like to make the stitch size really, really small on this. It just means I don't have to do any like back and forth to keep it there, and it's less visible in my personal opinion. So I make the stitch length really nice and tight and small. And then, yeah, we're going to start just before our opening. So our opening is just here. Stick those bits of thread inside. Oh my gosh, go inside. Okay. And then, yeah, just before it starts, I'm going to put the foot down. And just go for it. It might help if you sew with the foot down, but it's totally up to you and your sewing preference. I just find sometimes this edge gets caught in the gap of the foot there. So with the foot down, with the needle down, you always need to sew with the foot down. But with the needle down, it just means if that bit of fabric did get caught in that little bit, I can lift it up and hold my place. So again, we go just past the opening at the other side. I think the opening ended there and we've gone just past it. Then we have a scrunchie. So there you have it. Now you have your scrunchies. If you don't like the seam on the outside, you can fiddle around with it a bit and just flip it around. And now the seam is sort of more on the inside of the scrunchie. Just like that. But that is it. Now you have your Christmas scrunchies. Or any scrunchies. They don't have to be Christmas scrunchies. But that is how I personally make a scrunchie. So, thank you so much for joining. Should we just test it first? Voila! Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy making your own scrunchies. I absolutely love them. They're all I use in my hair now. And I will see you in the next one. I am going to make a matching bow for your dog. I'll see you next time. Bye.